Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. We're still in the penalty box that YouTube put us in for some reason. Clip is all over the internet, YouTube, and you're gonna be the only... I've complained about it enough. I'm sick of worrying about it, even though it's our livelihood, and you know, it's not only costing us money, but it's costing YouTube money as well. I mean, what's the point of that? Why would you not issue a warning and say, "Hey, remove this clip in a week, or we're gonna take down your video"? But yet they're not gonna listen because you know they're just stuck in their ways. So by the time this comes out, I will be doing dual releases on the episodes that we've fallen behind on. You know, it's gonna start with Chainsaw Man, and it's gonna end with Mob Psycho. But you know, if you're watching this will actually be the rare instance where it's going to have to be a 3-piece because episode 3 apparently got hit, and I'm going to have to re-edit it, like put the filter over it in a greater sense, and hopefully, you know, everything will go all right. So, My Hero, we have here episode. See, is this episode 5? Yeah, it's episode 5 of season 6, The Thrill of Destruction. That's not a good sign, because guess who? You remember who woke up in the last episode? And I have a feeling that destruction is going to be the only thing on his mind. I guess we'll see. Let's get into it. Him doing that, I think that's what caused the... there it is. Ooh! Backup has arrived. Oh, lockdown. Oh! Moved her head. Nope. Oh, that's it.
I had a feeling at least he was gonna die.
At least. And the cave. It's dangerous to go alone, take this. It's like you were giving me the ride for free. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Now get him out of there. Oh, he's back.
だせえな。学生まで引っ張り出してんのか。見ろよガキ。そいつが殺した仲間を守ろうと走る背中を後ろからぐさっと。お前がけなげに夢見るプロってやつは俺たちなんかよりよっぽど薄汚ねえぞ。ただ死を案じただけだ。思考停止。狭い。
His foot.
踏み影ごめん。炎の光でダークシャドウも力が出せない。また喋る。考えろよ焼き鳥ども。本当に救いを必要としているのは誰だと思う？おそらくこれは余裕じゃない。動揺を誘って時間を稼いでる。今放った炎もだいぶ弱まってた。つまり連発できなくなってる。だから行け。 ダークシャドウ踏み影ごめん力が打天使 こんなこともあろうかと前2発弱火で節約しました。
Oh, his arm.
さよならだ。
Todoroki! Oh my god. Oh boy.
Just be Mineta down there, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, ain't going to heaven." No, but you're about to.
It's just like, Mineta be like, if I could pick a way to die, this would be one of them. Oh! Oh.
It wasn't Todoroki.
This is Gittin.
闇雲に張り合うな。思うつぼだ。薄汚くなどないぞ、ホークス。信じてる。みんな信じてる。正しいことをしたんだと。だから死ぬな。立ってます。
Uh-oh, the radio. The radio. Oh no.
どこまんじゅうあげるよ。
口乾くわ。いいから行け。
ご好意だよ。もらっとき。
てめえはフワちゃとまんじゅうが気になるだけだな。
お年寄りにもああなのね。
It's like that with everybody.
Kitty.
Yeah, he's leading all the animals away.
感謝します。
That's
こ
awesome.
ちらも今のグル
He's
ープ
a
の
hero
遊
from
び感を見
that
たい。
can save people's pets too.
Yes.
頭の中で響くこの声は。止めるんだ。
Oh no.
この声。
Midoriya.
始まりのワン・フォー・オール。初代の声。揺り戻しが来る。長くは離せない。風から解き放たれし力の膨張、超越者が来る。
I think you need to move, kid.
Oh my god.
No! Oh shit.
これは死柄木の崩壊。情報のなかった死柄木の強化内容。このことか。全員退避。日々に触れ
Yeah,
る
get
な。
the fuck out.
死ぬぞ。
Oh, this music is ominous as fuck.
Yes, it is. I love it. Ah, oh, damn it, the Nobu.
No.
Oh. Wait. Oh, God, it is. Oh, Jesus. Those last. Oh, man. That is just.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. His last efforts were to save Eraserhead. It's everything, man. Oh, God! Run and don't stop.
お前たちヒーローはこの日のために多くの過程を積み重ねてきたのじゃろう。じゃが今奇跡あるいはプルスウルトラの積み重ねなど彼の目覚めの一なでで瓦解する。わしらの勝ちじゃ。
何が起こってるの？
市民の避難を全員走らせろ。
エンデバー！おい、エンデバー！
みんな逃げて。
デク君！
ワン・フォー・オールフルカウルスマッシュイヤーファー
It's not enough.
衝撃とかの類じゃない。
全てこの首に触れた瞬間喉の皮膚から崩れ始め1分と経たないうちにお前は塵と化すぞ。
Yeah, he knows who it is.
力木御前障壁
Not gonna matter. Run.
You can only delay it. You can't stop it.
何してんだ？誰か応答しろ！
It doesn't exist anymore.
頼む！応答してくれ！エンデバー！
Damn.
誰か状況を伝えろ！
今起こったというのだ。
わかりません。 通信も錯綜しています。
若空病院が状況の発信源であることは間違いありません。
This amount of devastation is just something else. If this is him at full power.
なんだダメになってる。各ドクターに増産してもらったのに、これじゃオーバーホールも浮かばれないぜ。なんだ。頭痛い。さて、見たところ状況は良くなさそうだが、俺が起きたら始めるんだったらおいでマキア。みんなと一緒に始めよう。全てを壊す。
And Maki is going to make a new exit. Yeah, Jesus.
Damn.
This guy is next level scary now.
Yep.
With what he is capable of.
Yeah, shit just went real fucking south.
It did.
I don't really know how they're gonna do anything against him.
I don't know. I really don't know. That him just doing that with just one attack. That is utter devastation on an immense level. He's basically able to turn a certain epicenter into dust.
Oh.
Everything, buildings, like animals, people, whatever.
It's basically a giant decay bomb.
Yeah. And I wonder if there's a limit to him using that, because he seemed to be having a bit of trouble there with his head hurting and all that.
I don't know if it's that or if it's just All for One trying to reach him somehow.
Maybe. Also, that One for All, basically revealing and saying something's coming. You need I don't have that much time. That
he's basically like stop him, like he's like insinuating Deku has to be the one to stop him, pretty much.
In which that's a tall order to ask, man. I mean, because this guy is scary now. I mean, you talk about advancements that characters have made. I mean, full cowling 45%. That's pretty good for Deku. That's the highest I've ever seen him go with it. But given everything else that is happening, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know if he's going to be able to stand against Shigaraki. He's going to need help. I mean, Todoroki, with his power...
I feel like there's only basically one counter to Shigaraki right now, and he has to be within distance to see him. And
Eraserhead. I think so, and Eraserhead's already tired from all the work that he's done, taking out all the Novas. And the fact that, it looked like Eraserhead was about to be taken down, and then the Shield hero basically threw, in his last bit of consciousness, through his last attack to save him, and that right there is a reflection of just how altruistic some people are, and some heroes in this universe are. And I know that Dabi earlier was talking about look at what your hero has done. He stabbed him in the back when he was trying to save his friends. Like, Dabi, I don't want to hear any moral quandaries from you, all right? You literally burn people alive because it makes you feel good. Like, you don't have the right to make any moral arguments or have any moral quandaries, present any moral quandaries to anybody, because you're a fucking psychopath. And you get off on burning people to a crisp. So, yeah, you're full of shit. And he's only saying it to cause doubt. He's not saying it because he actually believes it. He's saying it because, well, I think actually I take that back. He probably does believe it in his heart that heroes are actually the bad guys and villains are actually the ones who are like true are truly heroic by being themselves, I guess. I don't know. A kid's mind is all mixed up, and I think we know why. We know why he is mentally messed up. Because, well, potential.
Well, if he is actually who we think he is,
yeah.
we don't know supposedly why Endeavor has a son that's supposedly dead. And obviously he regrets him being dead, but I want to say that he could have driven him to the point that he thought he killed him. And it was just like, after having a hero, quote unquote, as a dad who acts like that, it's a wonder, like, even Todoroki and his other siblings aren't villains at this point, because it's pretty easy to be like, yeah, someone who, like, is that freaking abusive to his entire family and claims to be a hero, fuck heroes in that case, yeah.
I would say the biggest thing with him, with what probably happened to Dabi, is if he is in fact Endeavor's son, Endeavor was training him too hard, and something wound up happening, like they were out training in the middle of the wilderness, and like a landslide or something happened, and Endeavor could not find his son no matter what he did, and he assumed he was dead. But fortunately, he wasn't. And then he came home expecting a warm reception, and instead, what does he find? His father training Todoroki. And to be basically his replacement.
I don't know. I think it's darker than that.
Maybe.
The way his skin is and stuff, I think that he realized that he had the perfect fusion of cold and hot because he had cold fire, essentially, with this kid. And he was putting him through so much fucking training and stuff that he caused him to actually burn himself and, like, destroy himself partially. And probably got to the point where he, like, overdid him so much that, like, he thought he killed him. And something happened that was just like, he didn't actually kill him even though he thought he did, and he's still alive somehow, so
yeah.
Now he fucking hates him for it. And as a result, all heroes.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But, damn, dude, this series is just going, like, to the moon right now in terms of just overall impact and story development.
I was sitting there thinking at this point, like, I've seen... Like, I literally looked up recently. I was like, why do people hate on My Hero Academia recently? And, like, most of the answers were just literally, like, because it's cool to hate on what's popular.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, literally, it's, like, it's mainstream, so people assume it sucks. And I'm just like, if anybody actually got into it to this... And there's a bunch of people that are like, I gave up before I got through the first season. And I'm like, if it didn't catch you during the first season, that's understandable. But it's one of those series that just gets better and better as it goes, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, like, by this point, like, anybody who's just like, oh, it's trash, I'm just like, you haven't fucking seen half of that series, and you're basing that off of nothing.
If you're wanting to say that it is trash, then okay, but I want to hear logical reasoning. Don't just say that it's trash because, all my friends say it's trash. If you don't have the time or the effort to put forward to watch it yourself and form your own opinions, I don't want to hear it.
Well, people say it's like nothing but cliches, and then a lot of people are like, yeah, but it does all of the cliches. It does really, really well.
Here's the thing with cliches. If it's cliches that are tired and just there's nothing new or no new spins put onto them, or the characters are uninteresting and it's just a story for the sake of being a story, I could understand that. But that's not what we have here. Every single character in this is developed. Every single character in this has their own motivations. Some of them you love, some of them you hate, some of them that you hate in the beginning, but as time has gone on, you've come to understand, like, their logical reasoning. Like, Twice. Like, at first, I was like, oh, dude, this guy's crazy. Like, completely irredeemable, this and that, and blah, blah, blah.
I didn't even hate him to start with. Like, he kind of cracked me up because of his, dual voice thing. And I was like, he's a funny villain, And then, like, as we went forward into his story, he became more tragic. And then after a while, I was just like, I really like him, and I hope he gets redeemed. And then, like, obviously
it didn't happen.
Didn't happen, and it sucks.
Well, I should say more along the lines of Endeavor being irredeemable, because we had it in our heads that he was just an abusive father that pushed his kids too hard and, basically abused his wife and everything like that. But the more we've come to understand about him and the more we've come to see about him, it's just like he's not a great person, but he is at least in his heart, like he is at least a decent person.
Yeah. Like, he's seriously like a character that earlier on I was like, I don't know how they're ever going to do anything that's going to make me be okay with him. And at this point, I'm at least okay with him in his current state. Like, obviously, I don't think his family owes him anything, like, in terms of forgiveness or anything.
Oh, absolutely not.
If they find it in themselves to do so, that's up to them, but I don't think he's owed any forgiveness or anything for what he does, and I think he realizes that too.
Yes.
Which shows that he's trying to grow as a person, which is kind of, in my opinion, slightly unrealistic, because a lot of people, when they get above a certain age, they just don't grow anymore as a person, hardly.
Well, there are examples. I'll say this: people can change later in life. I mean, the biggest example I can think of in terms of like drastic change, I'm talking like completely night and day in terms of who they were versus who they became and who they died and who they were when they died.
KKK guy.
Yeah, CP Ellis, him, and the fact that he went from lifelong member of the Klan. I mean, went to every meeting, was a head of his organization in the area that he lived, and then at the end of his life, he was like regaled as one of the most important civil rights leaders in American history. I mean, that's just like unbelievable to me.
It just depends on like who is willing to learn.
Well,
like, basically,
change is something that you have to be willing to like initiate yourself, and you can't just pity pat your way through it and expect everything to be okay. You have to dedicate yourself. You have to literally reopen your heart and just let yourself change, because it does take time. It does.
It's like Endeavor's just one of those characters that I'm like, he was clearly greedy for a certain thing, and I don't really understand 100% why he had a change of heart and decided to stop being a piece of shit, other than just for the writing. And that's the only place that I'll say there's a little bit of a weak point, I think, with this series, is because if there was more of a major event of some kind that happened, I guess becoming the number one hero kind of started to make him rethink things, but
maybe
I feel like there should have been more of a major thing that happened to him, like maybe a near-death experience or something.
Well, it was a near-death experience what happened to him at the end of that.
But only after he had already started to change.
Well, to an extent, but that initiated the change. But the near-death experience, and then also his one son almost getting killed as well. Not wanting to lose another child, even though it wasn't his like supposed favorite child. I mean, he's had things happen to him that
he was already making an effort at that point as well, too, though. And
he was.
Like, I feel like if something else had happened before then, that really kind of kicked it, like, his rethinking things into motion a little better, I would be a little more inclined to believe it overall.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. To me, I think there's been enough things that have happened to him that have made him like. It's been like a gradual process. You see, it doesn't have to be like a sheer cliff that he has to fall off of. Instead, it can be a gradual change, in which that's a more realistic one in my mind, because a gradual change is more likely to be taken than one of like falling off a cliff, because there will be that element of resistance because of just how different things are. And
I guess it was also Todoroki, to an extent, just kind of I'm sure for like the longest time he was basically just like, you're gonna do what I want and blah blah blah. You know, like it's like you don't have a say, and it's just anytime that he would say anything bad, he probably punished it, or say anything that he didn't like he'd probably punish him. And so
Yeah.
it took him getting to a certain age, going into the best school, and then just being like, I'm straight up not using your powers, and you can go fuck yourself, and I will be better than you. And maybe that started to just finally turn its brain over to like, hey, I've been an absolute dickweed.
Probably. And also, I think self-reflection, because self-reflection is something that, you know, all of us have to like encounter every now and again. Like, you know, we have our little bouts with existentialism. It's just like, oh gosh, I am a meat puppet, like floating on a rock in the middle of the eternal cosmos. And, you know, you think about that, and it's just like, you have that moment of existentialism, you just like look up, you're just like, fuck. But
I'm actually, it's funny when you think about it, it's like, you are actually a brain
oh yeah,
piloting a meat-covered skeleton mech.
yes, on a floating rock in the middle of the eternal cosmos that could just stop at any point.
If it does, it's not my problem anymore, though.
Exactly. There you go. So that's the comfort. That's the comfort that you can take from the existentialism. But during those moments, we look at ourselves in the mirror and just be like, what kind of person am I? Like, what kind of life have I led? And has my leading of this life made anyone else's lives around me any better? I ask myself that question all the time. I look at myself in the mirror and I ask myself that. I ask myself, am I a burden on people?
I would say objectively, you can say that yes, you've at least made my life better.
Yeah. It's just I
would probably be still trying to figure. I don't know. I would say there's a good chance I'd be homeless at this point if not for you. But I definitely wouldn't have a job that I like, most likely. And honestly, if I kept working customer service, which is like all that's available in this area that pays anything at all,
yeah,
I might have eventually gotten to the point where I started to think about just unaliving myself.
Ouch, dude.
So,
well, I'm glad I could help provide something.
Really, really bad for my mental health.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, if you're still here, everybody, we appreciate that, and we want you to know that we value you all very much that have been with us through this whole endeavor, no pun intended. And also, you know, if you're watching this on Patreon, we cannot express enough the gratitude of all of you out there who have made it possible to where we can do this for a job and have this to entertain all of you out there. And we hope to continue doing this. So until next time, signing off, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Take care, everybody. Peace.